Oh, the cord's caught. All right. We're live on YouTube and TikTok. I'm double whammying it right now. I'm just like a good handful of, people to be around. Also, just trying to share. Maybe you guys can share for me. Can you do it for me? That would be extra fun, please. And then I can just flip and focus. Welcome to Sunday Night Sex Talk with Sabrina. I am your host, Sabrina May, and I am excited. I am launching this off. I'm just going to turn this a little bit, just make sure you guys can hear me right. That was a little Queen of the Night, Whitney Houston, but it was actually performed by Kelly Clarkson in one of her karaoke's. And I just, that song is so, but her beginning is fabulous. So I needed to, just while I knew I was going to share, needed some noise in the background, and let's do it, shall we? But yeah, my original question when I popped on live, if you know Sue Johansson, is she from America or Canada? Answer in the comments below. In the comments, people, come on. I want to see some comments happening. So that said, while I let that sit and while you guys wait for some answers around here, she used to run such a legendary show called Sunday Night Sex with Sue. And long story short, that's what I'm aiming for, to be the new Sex with Sabrina rather than Sue. See why the connection? People get a little scared with my name saying Sex with Sabrina because they think they're saying I want to have sex with that, but it's sex talk. So it's the topic of sex and being able to say it. And hopefully I don't get nannered on here for saying it, because this is a whole talk about it, and I want everyone to be able to ask questions. I'm here to answer. There's group. There's so many great, amazing things that can happen if we really just open the conversation in a non-taboo way. Oh, well, thank you, Camry. And so many questions. Wow. And I also ask that your questions just be respectful. We don't need to get crazy, but I also have no judgments. This is fully all inclusive, all welcome to the live kind of thing. I'm just going to move so I'm kind of not looking to the side on one of my lives the whole time. I even have toys nearby. You want to ask and talk about things? Ask away. Yes, Camry, I did. Thank you for commenting in the comments. Oh, what is the conversation? It is Sunday Night Sex Talk with Sabrina. Do you know Sex with Sue Johansson back in the day? That's the main question. Is she from Canada or the U.S.? Do you know who Sue Johansson is? And is she from Canada or the U.S.? I know. I'm just wondering if you guys know. And then we're going to talk about some other stuff. So hit some likes on here and let's get rolling with making some love rolling. I want to see some others. Canada. So am I. I am very Canadian. I am Canadian from coast to coast. I'll repeat this probably a few times when people ask me where I'm from, but I literally was born in Calgary, Alberta. Then I grew up from a young age in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island on the East Coast. I spent a few years in Ottawa. I also then did 20 years in back in Alberta, and I've now been here and I live in New Westminster, BC for the last 8 years. So yes, I am 43 in a week, February 1st, actually. I'm an Aquarius babe. And I am very from coast to coast. So I welcome all Canadians in here and anyone else. I'm all about that. Oh, I'm going to put this thing on. Yes, JR's mom, Sue Johansson, is Canadian. She's actually 92, still kicking. She lives in Toronto, just outside of Toronto in a suburb there. She is amazing. There's actually a documentary. If you're Canadian, you'll be able to catch it because it's on the Women's Network. And I know that's not a U.S. network, so really fascinating, really amazing. And somebody finally worked with her daughter just this past fall and made it happen. So, or this last 2022. So where are everyone that's in the room? Where are you from? And what are some questions you have? This is Sunday Night Sex Talk. Let's do it. Now, I know some of my, just be mindful because it's TikTok. And so I appreciate that it has to be kept at a decent level of like not getting, BDSM, whoa, all of a sudden on here. That's not what this is about. This is about an open conversation, relationship conversations, sexual relationship conversations, all that kind of stuff. It's about the talk and that this topic is not taboo. Nor does it have to be raunchy and some, triple X kind of video. See what I'm saying? I just don't want to get nannered by saying I know there's certain words I can't say on here or there. Got nobody. Oh, hello, someone I have in the YouTube. Welcome. I got distracted while there was no one in here yet. So give me a second. My cord is caught on something. There we go. Now it's not standing straight. Alrighty. There, I can read comments from both directions now. A little bit easier without. Yep. Oy, oy, oy. It's not wanting to work for me as well. Hi. From Vancouver, BC. Welcome, Tammy. Thanks for being here. Oh, hello, Tasha. Yay, you made it. Thank you. Was that you in my YouTube and then you just left and came to my TikTok because you didn't know what to do? PEI. This girl Tash is my best friend of all the world, so I'm not going to put too much spotlight on her because she hates that. But I will say she has been my rock since we were 10, literally since 1990. Yep, 1900s. We go so back. So yeah, she's my girl. Howdy, can I be a guest? What's an a guest or be a guest, like just in general? I am open to guests if you have a really good question. Ask the question, and if you do have over 1,000 followers, because that's just a TikTok rule, or if you're here on YouTube, wherever, you do need that to be able to go live. So if you want to do a duo question, I would love. Hit me up with a question so I know what's up and where you're at before I take you up to the box. Hi, Brian. Thanks for being here. So I've got questions and things that I can answer from all kinds of different directions. I know it's a topic that everybody's a little nervous to go on. I'm not going to say something publicly here, but that's kind of what we got to do. We all relate in so many ways. So send me your question and let's talk. Because 100% there's going to be other people that are totally wondering the same thing. Hands down, beyond guaranteed. I know there is, because I've worked enough in this industry and even reporting and researching and all of that. The questions are just endless and always there, and the information is lack thereof out there, or positive information. So that's what we're here for. A little bit about MS, and so I am all inclusive as well. I will say, for the whole topic of sex, being the Sunday night sex talk show with Sabrina, I'm also all inclusive for those. So if you wanted to talk about sex and MS, I am down for that, because honestly, that's something that people don't know about. I know what MS can do. I used to pet sit for someone who was an MS patient, but I don't remember a lot of all of the details, but I know it affects your body. So it affects a lot of things that you could probably explain a little better than I can. But yeah, when I pop in and talk about it. Okay, you're ready? Then I'm just going to turn my music a little bit down, because when I box somebody live. Now, are you? Oh, you got enough followers. You could come up. Is that what this is? Guest? Thank you, Brian. I put on a little makeup today. There we are. Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So you ask about whether I know about MS or not. Is it yourself or someone close to you that has it?
Myself.
Yourself. How long have you been diagnosed with it?
It's going to be 9 years in August.
Oh, wow. Tell me a little bit give me the basics actually for everybody that is here, just in case they don't know about MS. Give them the basics just so they're all caught up. What is MS?
So basically, there we go. Now I can see better. Basically, what MS does is it basically attacks the myelin in your brain, which is supposed to protect your nerves. So it attacks it, and then you end up getting nerve exposure, and you get nerve damage and stuff from that.
Mm-hmm.
I luckily haven't had any physical nerve damage. My walking is fine. I can go and walk around and do everything okay. Mine took my optic nerve really bad.
Oh.
And basically made it so my left eye, I basically don't have it. It's basically just an eyeball.
Wow. So you just have the one sight, not the double and not so much the peripheral that it gives, etc.
Yeah.
So, being that this is, and you know what my show is about, my straight up question, because that's what this is about, is how do you find that since your diagnosis, what has changed in your sex life for you, or challenges that you've come across because of your MS?
Just finding a girl that actually understands that I have MS and is totally okay and open for it.
Right. And what part of MS is the part that scares them away?
That I might be in a wheelchair one day.
Yeah.
I think so.
And then taking on that they feel that there's going to be the whole responsibility of, etc.
Yeah.
But the right person, there are those that are out there that absolutely just finding. And where are you located, Tom?
I'm in Southern Ontario.
Ah, fellow Canadian. So yeah, there's lots of good people in, and if you're in Southern Ontario, then are you in one of like those small towns, or are you in a more populated city?
I'm in a little town.
That's what the internet's for. Say it like we are, like I am, for sure. That's what that conversation's about. So how have you found, have you had to like actually physically come across any barriers um in your sexual relationships because of it, or is it getting, because of you having MS, was just kind of more of a big flag to someone and they just cut you off before you even get to that point?
Yeah, more of that.
So more education about MS and people understanding that you're still human and you're still here for, 9 years already since diagnosis. That in itself is such a feat of life. And
yeah. My doctor, when I was diagnosed, said that I might be in a wheelchair 5 to 10 years after my diagnosis.
Wow. Well, you're almost at 10 years and you still kicking with your legs and feet. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for the follow, Freddie. I appreciate that. That's fantastic. But I do hear you. The idea of, and that is such a unfortunate stigma, that those certain diseases that people have been had the chance to be more aware of, where people kind of like know the word MS, but to really understand what it means, they know the word and they know kind of like the end outcome, but how long does it take to get there? What does it mean? What kind of personality? Like, there's so many more years that are within there that people don't communicate about. And thank you, Brian. I appreciate the cheerleading. Yes, thank you. But yeah, that gap of knowledge of going, hey, wait, like all the things just because it's MS, it doesn't strike you off for permanent.
No.
And in small town, that's even trickier because your population being small, you have limited choices. But online, I do highly encourage all kinds of online stuff that you still have access to for yourself. I know it's not very personal, believe me. I literally just got a pet rat to have some companionship around, because being alone and highly online, but not with people in person, I know what that bond is not there. So
You are in
I'm in BC.
BC, I knew it.
Is it how liberal I am, or
No, you just have that West Coast vibe to you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm definitely from all over this country, but proud Canadian all the way.
Yes.
Thank you, Marshall, for the follow. Thank you, Tom, for the follow. I saw that you just did that.
Yeah. No worries.
Do you have questions for me? And ask anything. Don't be afraid. I mean, on the basis that TikTok will allow, but also don't feel that anything is offensive or too nerving to ask, because I am, believe me, heard it all.
I don't think there's anything I need to know.
That's fair.
Yeah, no. If you were ever to run into somebody who had a disability, what would your reaction be?
Oh, my lipstick. Oh, I myself am, I identify as pansexual, in that I just love humans in general. So I've never been one to see one's weight higher or lower. Friends get annoyed with me when they're like, look how much weight I've lost. And they show me, and I'm like, I never saw your weight to you. I always see people for their person, their humanness. And so same comes with the disabilities. It has nothing to do whether it's wheelchair or it's not. Like, I've nannied children that were with disabilities. My own son has disabilities. Like, so I'm so surrounded by many that are with disabilities. I feel like there's more with disabilities than not in my world in so many ways. So I embrace them in all that, and that we're all human. And all of us humans, and the brain in itself specifically is such an untapped world of knowledge that no one knows about. So you literally are, okay. Oh, thank you, Freddie. We are human. Yes, that my love for it, that it's humanity, and that we all should just recognize that each one of us is with, it's not so much a disability, it's just a part of how the direction that we operate and we work. We're, a little bit of this and that and that and that and that, and what makes up each of us. We're not, we're able, but we're able differently, or some of our strong suits are strong and some of them are not, etc. But thank you.
Yeah. No, I
like that.
I totally agree with that. Like, if somebody has a disability, who gives a fuck?
Right? I'm all about
Are they an awesome human? Are they good? Okay, then that's all that matters.
That's correct. And there's so many ways that pleasure can be met without it being this, man and woman and missionary, like there's so much more than what sex and all of that means. And anyone that's in any kind of missing limbs or otherwise and unable to do certain things or certain positions doesn't mean that there aren't other ways that they can enjoy and they can do things, etc. That's where you just explore and figure out how it works.
Yeah, no, I always said, if my legs go on me and I end up in a wheelchair, my mouth still works.
Yep. Well, a friend of mine always says, they're like, it's, if my member all of a sudden doesn't work or can't do anything more, he's like, my mouth is always there. When my mouth runs out of, can't do something, my fingers are always there. If my fingers aren't there, there's always toys, and everybody loves a good toy.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's always some way. It's just a matter of exploring ways that you may not have thought of, or other ways that can happen that, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's other ways that you can, like, even in one of my favorite things to talk about is with, like, I suffer personally from anxiety and ADHD and stuff like that. And I keep meaning to get some new shibari rope for myself because I've seen some things where it actually helps with. So like shibari roping is seen as a whole, sexual BDSM kind of act, but it actually can be a really great sensory tool for mental health in other ways and learning that kind of thing. So I know that there's many other ways for different, like the swing and how it can come into play for someone that maybe like yourself, if you get to a point that you're in a wheelchair and you're no longer, like, if you getting put into a swing, then there can be so much more fun than, you're limited to without it once you hit that stage. But yeah, so many different fun things that you can do, and the other ways that people can enjoy each other.
Yeah. Oh, there is one thing I have a talent for.
Oh, you're a male, and I'm guessing on the topic of, and you have a good skill of, is it fingers or tongue? Or motion?
Tongue.
Uh-huh.
I can tie a cherry stem in a knot.
So you got tricks and turns and fun, good times.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And that, I mean, that's a question. With MS, how does it affect your speech? And because it starts to affect your muscles, right? So will it affect your tongue?
Maybe one day, but for right now, it's okay.
But that is something that it can affect the MS factor, is you can lose that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, like, I lost my vision.
Yeah, the vision. So now your sense of touch and other things are more where you're at. Why am I not?
Yeah.
I'm plugged in. Oh, I see what it's saying. So I distracted myself with my phone telling me that it was sufficiently charged, but I thought it was telling me that I was going to die. So I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Hold my horses. Does anybody in the comments have questions about the MS and sex life? If you don't mind answering anything that if anybody comes up with, because that's what part of that education is about, is going, you know what? I actually don't know anybody with MS and I never really thought about it, but let me find out about it. If you have a question on your mind out there, please put them in the comments. I am here to listen, and I have this fabulous human being that is here to share their stories, because this is all about real people talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello, Aaron. Brian, thank you for all the likes. Everybody, please hit the likes and the shares and all that jazz. It helps with the algorithm of where I fall, just to be able to, like be on the For You page and stuff. So I get a broader audience while I build this. This I plan to do every Sunday night. I have to try to keep that goal going, but I too, with mental health and things, they can get in the way, and you have your good and your bad days. And if it's all of a sudden it's Sunday night and it's a bad day, I can't be like, let's talk about sex. Sometimes those get delayed.
I was thinking, let's talk about sex, baby.
Right?
Let's talk about you
and me. I was gonna open with that song when I came on live tonight, but then I was like, is that too obvious? So I went with a different song. Anybody else want to come in? Do you have questions? All kinds of things. Bring it.
Bring it to us and we can talk about it.
That's right. So how long have you been carousing around on TikTok? Have you been in it since the beginning? Were you new to it, or?
No, I pretty much probably at least around the beginning of the pandemic, I started getting into TikTok.
Oh, so you got it. Yeah. Pandemic jump on. Gotcha. Hello, Director Surprise or Der Surprise. Ghana. Oh, what time is it in Ghana right now? I think you're in like the morning.
Yeah, Ghana is
tomorrow. You're in the future.
I'm guessing it's around like 4:30 or so in Ghana, maybe.
Whew. Freddie, do you have any questions? I appreciate that you were enjoying this conversation and the topic that we're talking about. Oh, look at you, Tom. You're pretty close. 3:32.
Yeah.
Can't sleep, there's surprise. If you're up and on here, please ask a question away. I am here. And this lovely gentleman in the box is named Tom, and he's joined us tonight, and he actually has MS. So we were talking about sexual pleasures with those who have MS and just being aware, the difficulties that certain disabilities bring up for others in the pleasure realm, if you will.
Yeah.
Tap, tap, and ask questions. That's right, Brian. Thank you for being such a superstar. Tasha, if you're still in the room, I expect you to be tapping the screen. Miss Magoo. She doesn't really know what to do on TikTok, though. That's not really her thing, so I do have to explain that to her. Unless she left. I'm going to call her on it if she left me.
There's Eric is in here, apparently. Brian is in here. Freddie is in here.
I'm going to text her and kick her butt. I see that she is not.
Situated Shadow is in here. Pre-zone.
Brian, I appreciate you. He's a friend that at least knows me to help get the word going in the comments while I'm chit-chatting about other things,
Yeah, I know.
I'm just...
Brian, you're a good guy by the sounds of it.
You left me. Yeah, give her trouble. Because I can.
Here's a funny question. For people with MS, they sometimes have an issue with swallowing. So
would that come along at the same time as those with where you would be losing some of your muscle kind of actions in the mouth anyways? But yeah, so swallowing, no BJs for the MS or giving, at least. You're not even able to give other kind of oral pleasures.
I was thinking, I was like, man, how much would it suck for all the women that have MS and they got issues with swallowing?
All those poor men that just don't get that. Damn it.
Yeah, like the guys are gonna be like, why won't you swallow?
Yeah, well, it's not all about that anyways, and it's never about the end result. Like, it's great to have an end result. It's great to experience the end result in all the ways that it can be experienced, but definitely not it's not the main scene in any form, as much as so many people do think so. They're like, what about this? What about that? And being a female, that's why when you earlier said I'm really good at it, I'm like, let me guess. It's like I haven't heard it before. It's this that talent or that talent, but apparently you're top notch at it, which is awesome. And I'm not disputing it by any means. It's a common how do I say it? Yeah, I think. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm trying to say, at least?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, surprise. At least he understood my rambling. I have no idea what I was saying. And it's not that it's a bad thing, because there's girls, and I know how many guys. I'm not your average girl, so more often than not, I'm hearing things of what girls say or do from dudes, and like the commonalities of how some women act about certain things. And I'm just like, wow, really? Like, that's how you got to live your life? Like, that's what's going on? But that's partly a big reason why I do this show, or why I'm doing this show, and all my podcasts and everything else online, is to be able to open the conversation in the minds of everyone that might be stuck in a small town and zone and place, that are not open to others that's maybe dealing with, MS or other things, or even just, the basic conversations between two people that might have been together for 20 years, and where's their sex life at now?
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
Sorry, I saw Brian's comment that says, if you're in here, put a green heart, please.
I did, and I saw that.